and David English.
Thank you, Ceann Comhairle. Yesterday's budget was a welcome step, I believe, towards the society we want to become. A welcome step towards a recovery for society and a welcome step back towards a just society. As T.K. Whitaker put it, the door to happiness opens outwards. I believe this budget truly embraces that principle. My constituency predecessor, Declan Costello, was the author and the architect of the original Just Society document. It was a rights-based, forward-looking commitment to justice and to the common good of all in Ireland, in the words of Mark Fitzgerald. The principles and the spirit of the philosophy is woven throughout this budget, I believe. As Dr. Ciara Meehan put it, the central message of this document remains important today. Social reform and social progress are not luxuries which we must wait for until economic development has reached a certain point. In short, there is never a bad time to invest in the future. There is never a bad time to consider social mobility. The Minister, the Finance Minister, and this government, I believe, understand this implicitly. This budget is incrementalist. That could be seen as a criticism in some senses, but I believe it is a positive thing. It clearly builds on last year's budget, so we can see over the two budgets how things are progressing incrementally. Pensioners are €520 better off over the two budgets. Some people phrase this as €5 per week or €260 this budget, but no, over the two budgets, €520 better off, building last year's progress on further progress this year. Minimum wage has increased again, now €9.80. Just 8 years ago, Fianna Fáil reduced it for the first time in the history of the state. This government has now increased it five times since 2011, and this will be the third time since 2016. The higher rate tax band at which people enter the higher rate of tax has now increased by €1,500 over the two budgets, again illustrating that incremental progress. €750 change last year, €750 change this year. Would we like to do more on all those fronts? Absolutely, but it's incremental and we're clearly forging a path towards progress and equality and fairness there. An accusation was made earlier in the chamber during this debate, Ceann Comhairle, about me bombarding constituents with information in relation to local development and local investments. I make no apologies for representing and communicating with my constituents regularly. In relation to the Lewis project of Finglas, as outlined under the Project Ireland plan, I made sure it was included in the final plan after being excluded from the draft plan. I called a meeting with the NTA under the Transport Committee and got a solid public commitment that they will move to design and land procurement for this project next year upon conclusion of the metro design. So unlike what Deputy Martin said earlier on, this plan is real and it is happening. Sometimes, in terms of budgets, you can't necessarily measure everything. Obviously, we can measure the outputs and the inputs. We can measure taxation and finance. But on all sides of this House, we are at times guilty of focusing maybe too much on numbers. GDP numbers, bond yields, poll ratings, first preference votes. Which groups got how much in the budget and which groups maybe missed out. However, it's often how the changes make people's lives better that matters, and how they feel about the budget. It's the security, Ceann Comhairle, of knowing there will be a new hot school meals programme trialled across DEIS schools next year, with the view to rolling it out thereafter, something that my constituency would take a lot from, and something which would mean a lot to many of my constituents. It's the safety of knowing we are allocating €2.3 billion to housing, including delivery of 10,000 new social homes next year and a truly affordable housing scheme, which I know my colleague Minister English is doing great work on, and I know he'll talk about in some detail subsequent to me. It's the comfort of knowing that while we invest in society, our citizens can reap the benefits of a strong economy, with more people at work than ever before in the history of the state. The measures to look after workers are strong. Everything that should be up is up. Everything that should be down is down. Employment is up. USC is down. Home carer credits are up. Child poverty will be down. Minimum wage is up. Entry point for the higher rate of tax is down. This is important. Does the budget do everything I wanted to do? No. There is more to be done. a further increase in capitation, a reduction of pupil-teacher ratios in deaf schools, ensuring we get primary care facilities everywhere that we need them, right across the country, and ensuring those who rent get a fairer deal than they do now. We can do all these things and more, but it'll take further budgets and further incremental progress. Time is both our friend in this House and our enemy. It gives us opportunities and challenges. Brexit is one such issue, both a challenge and an opportunity. This budget insulates us from the former and embraces the latter, allowing us to embrace those opportunities and insulate us from those challenges. The negotiation, or review, as some call it, of the Confidence and Supply Agreement is again also a challenge and an opportunity. Many tonight have commented on that political aspect of it. It's well-trod ground, but ultimately this budget embraces the latter principle of opportunity by showing we can work together on all sides of the House and set out a reasonable, positive, balanced budget which will allow our citizens live their lives in a healthy economy, but also a compassionate society. I'll hand over to my colleagues, Minister English and Minister Cannon. Thank you very much.